Right now, Madison's St. Patrick's Day Parade returns for the first time in 4 years as the city celebrates all things Irish ahead of the holiday. Plus, bowling alleys across Dane County helping raise money in the fight against colon cancer. Those stories and more coming up right now at 10. For the first time in 4 years, yeah, it's been that long, the St. Patrick's Day Parade finally returned to the Capitol Square in downtown Madison this morning. The COVID-19 pandemic put the annual parade on hold for 3 full years, but the parade made a comeback today ahead of St. Patrick's Day on Friday. And despite the snow we saw overnight, today's parade moved forward without any issues, as parade organizers estimate 7,000 people attended the parade.
This is like the gateway to spring. Everybody loves coming out here knowing that soon the snow will melt and we'll be happy to celebrate summer again.
This was the 23rd year of the parade, which was put on by the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee. No NCAA tournament for the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team. Wisconsin did not hear its name called during the selection show. Instead, the Badgers will play in 32-team NIT tournament, otherwise known as the National Invitation Tournament. They're a 3 seed and will face the Bradley Braves at the Kohl Center on Tuesday night at 8:30. Jordan will have more on the Badgers postseason coming up a little bit later in sports. We sent out a push alert this evening shortly after learning the Badger men would miss out on the NCAA tournament. Make sure you've downloaded the Channel 3000 mobile app, and when you do, turn on push notifications so that you can stay informed with what's happening in our community. Your alarm clock may have been an unwelcome sight this morning after losing an hour of sleep, but we'll now get more daylight for the next 3 months until the summer equinox. Summer's still a ways off, especially after a fresh round of snow we received overnight. Meteorologist Alex Arrington has what you can expect for your Monday morning commute in the First Warn Forecast Weather Patio.
Yeah, thanks, McKenna, and good evening, folks. We got flurries fluttering around here. Actually, coming down at a decent clip out here on the patio. We could see that on high-resolution radar, too. You see that blue right across Dane County, right across Madison. It's probably some of those scattered showers, snow showers that we're seeing, rather, across Dane County. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, a bit more appreciable to the north and towards the east, towards Marquette and Green Lake counties. They have winter weather advisories in effect, and our future track radar is doing a brilliant job bringing that snow band towards the south. Much of southern Wisconsin will see a few snow showers overnight, but again, the more appreciable amounts are going to be up towards Marquette and Green Lake counties. And as we plan your Monday, look at that. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. Temperatures will struggle to get to 30 degrees, and we've got even colder temperatures to track coming up in just a few minutes.
The 22nd annual Bowlin' for Colon's fundraiser took over bowling alleys across the Madison area today to raise money for colon cancer research. Our Braden Ross is at one of those bowling alleys this morning to see how all of this fun is raising money and awareness for an important cause.
This morning at Schwegler's in Madison, every lane is full of people bowling for colons.
It's just a fun way to get together, to raise awareness, and to make some money to help fund colon cancer research.
Peggy Wiederholt has been bowling at the UW Carbone Cancer Center's annual Bowlin' for Colon fundraiser for 2 decades.
It's great to see my grandchildren as part of our team now, because when we started, they weren't even born.
She started her team to honor her husband, Joe, a beloved UW professor who passed away from colon cancer 22 years ago.
He shared his experience with colon cancer in the classroom, with colleagues, with family and friends, to raise an awareness. And I have to think that by doing that, he saved lives.
Wiederholt says it's important to raise awareness for everyone, no matter their age.
My husband was only 45 when he was diagnosed. One of the members of our team was only 30 years old when she was diagnosed.
That team member, Amy Miller, hopes her story encourages others to trust their intuition.
I went in and I was told flat out, you're too young for colon cancer. And had I let that thought prevail in my head a year later, I might not have gotten screened when I did, and I might have not have gotten treated when I did, and I might not be here today.
She says screening is the best form of prevention.
It can seem like an inconvenience. It can seem embarrassing, invasive to go get a colonoscopy, but cancer treatment is way more invasive and inconvenient.
Now Miller has her eyes set on the future.
I'm hoping that with added funding and research, we'll get some answers by the time my own children are grown, so that we can help protect them and protect future generations.
For News 3 Now, I'm Braden Ross.
Bowling for Colons raised $62,000 this year for GI cancer research and more than $1 million since the event began 22 years ago. With spring break fast approaching, Madison area Crime Stoppers are reminding residents to take extra care when protecting their property while away on vacation. The National Crime Prevention Council reports that residential burglaries increase 10 to 18% when people go on vacation. Madison area Crime Stoppers recommends you notify your neighbors that you'll be away so they can keep an eye on your property. Of course, you'll want to secure all doors and windows, and if you can, set up automatic lights that are scheduled to turn on and off at different times to make it appear that someone is home. Pause your newspaper and mail delivery, as a pile of newspapers or mail can indicate a home is empty. And finally, avoid posting your vacation plans on social media, as it'll tip off potential burglars about when you'll be away. There's a new nonstop option for those in southern Wisconsin who want to travel to Florida, but there's a catch. It's on a low-cost carrier that flies out of Dubuque, Iowa. Avelo Airlines will begin nonstop service from Dubuque Regional to Orlando International Airport twice a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays. The first flight is 10 days from today, Wednesday, March 22nd. The airline, which rebranded from Extra Airways in April of 2021, originally operated charter flights under the name Casino Express Airways. Avelo has been operating out of Iowa since January, but at Cedar Rapids Eastern Iowa Airport because Dubuque Regional was unable to secure the necessary TSA approval in time. Turning to national news now, where the U.S. Coast Guard is calling the deaths of 8 human trafficking victims a tragedy. The Coast Guard says that one of 2 panga boats full of people capsized off the coast of San Diego late last night. Panga is a small open boat with outboard engines that are sometimes used in smuggling operations. All 8 of those killed were adults, and at least 7 others are said to still be missing.
The lifeguards, after about an hour of searching and recovering bodies, we were in recovery mode for about 5 hours after that. This is the one of the worst maritime smuggling tragedies that I can think of in California, certainly here in the city of San Diego.
Survivors may have escaped on land, including the woman who called 911. Authorities did not know her whereabouts. It's also been reported that at least some of Saturday's victims were Mexican, but how many is still unknown. Staying in California, the state is bracing for yet another round of storms starting tomorrow. Destructive flooding battered millions in the state this weekend, forcing evacuations, washing out roads, and triggering landslides. Joy Benedict shares the latest as more wet weather is on the way.
Evacuation orders and warnings for thousands of people statewide after severe flash flooding caused a levee to fail, washed out miles of roads, and prompted more than 100 rescues. Swiftwater rescue crews kept busy in the hard-hit Central California farming town of Watsonville.
It's shocking and then sad at the same time.
The storm pushed the Pajaro River over its banks Saturday, leaving large swaths of the city underwater and forced many families into shelters.
I lost everything on 95, and this would be my second time in the shelter since then.
In northern and southern California mountain communities, fears that more roofs will collapse from the next round of snow and rain. In storm-weary Crestline, many have been stranded for weeks.
I shoveled them mostly out, but even if they could get out the rest of the way, they'd probably be too scared to drive around, you know, because it's still kind of sketchy out there.
The state's largest fire agency, CAL FIRE, says it's responding to about 1,500 weather-related calls each and every day as emergency crews all over the state are working overtime. Joy Benedict, CBS News, Los Angeles.
More local news is just ahead at 10 as the Janesville Jets honored the life of one superfan last night while pledging to make its facility more accessible to those with disabilities. Stay with us. We'll be right back on News 3 Now.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all Silverado 1500 pickups. And current Chevy owners get $2,500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a turbo high-output engine. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
How you sleep sets your entire life in motion. So live your best life by getting your best sleep on a Doctor's Choice mattress. The perfect combination of support and comfort. In fact, I've been recommending it to my patients for over 20 years.
Visit us in-store or online and discover all the benefits of Doctor's Choice, only at Denver Mattress.
Fresh out of Papa Murphy's kitchen, the limited time double bacon cheddar pizza.
Actually, it's fresh out of my oven.
Dad, it's just an expression.
Mozzarella, crispy bacon, and Canadian bacon with nacho cheddar cheese sauce. Now that is an expression.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza, so you can make the pizza great.
In my oven.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. Call today for free information.
Call 800-550-5543.
Us. This isn't us. Is it? When did we get so connected to our devices and so disconnected from each other? And when our phones have turned us into this?
LT?
What do you do when you're a company that sells them?
We gotta fix this.
It's time to find what we're missing. Join us in taking a break from our devices. Take the phones down for 5 challenge for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes.
Feels good.
And let's find us again. U.S. Cellular. Built for us.
The Jennifer Hudson Show is action-packed. We're learning about love with Jay Shetty.
A lot of relationships have expectations, but they don't have agreements.
Then Ugly Betty's Michael Urie.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Police in Ridgeway last night arrested a man they believe was yelling racial slurs and spat on an officer. A man told police he had gone outside to his backyard to let his dogs out when he saw a 59-year-old man in his yard acting aggressively. That man left, but was later found in a parking lot near the home. Police say it was here that the man was yelling racial slurs and causing a scene. That man then allegedly spit on the officer, taking him into custody. The man faces a variety of charges, including disorderly conduct with a hate crime enhancer, resisting arrest, and threats to a law enforcement officer. Just a reminder, we are not naming this man as part of a newsroom policy to not name people accused of crimes until they are formally charged in court. Metro Transit officials will host another meeting Tuesday night to discuss upcoming construction on the bus rapid transit project. Construction officially began on the BRT system last week in the Mineral Point Road, Whitney Way, and University Avenue areas. Those who attend this upcoming meeting will learn more about road work, construction timelines, and its anticipated effect on traffic. Much of the work related to the project will be resulting in lane closures and traffic control. That meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Tuesday and can be attended through Zoom. A link to register for attendance is available on cityofmadison.com. Sports can often bring the community together, and that's the case in Janesville, where the Jets celebrated the life of one of its biggest fans ahead of puck drop last night. Orange Branster shares the impact Tristan Ray had on the team and how the team is now honoring his memory.
I believe that Tristan was put here on this earth for a very special purpose, and I believe that Tristan had come to a time where his little body had fulfilled that purpose.
At 26 years old, a man that could make anybody smile, Tristan Ray, passed away last September. He had severe cerebral palsy, affecting him both cognitively and physically.
Today actually marks 6 months that Tristan passed.
On Saturday night, the Janesville Jets hockey team honored their biggest superfan. In front of a packed crowd, they rolled out Tristan's wheelchair onto the ice with a custom jersey and told his story. Tina fought a painful battle right alongside Tristan, and that battle continues today.
This isn't about giving up. This is about continuing to do what it was that Tristan and I always did when he was here.
The Eggers and the Jets announced initiatives in Tristan's honor to make Janesville more handicap accessible. The Jets are starting working with disabled students in local schools and adding more handicap seating in Tristan's honor.
I'm really excited for what they're planning on doing here and for how they're willing to change things in the community where they can.
Tristan's nephew dropped the first puck, and a plaque was hung in his honor in the exact spot he'd watched the games from.
I think he would be thrilled.
But what it would mean to Tristan, I can just see him in his wheelchair, just huge smile on his face.
They say Tristan communicated in his own way, and he's still impacting people to this day. A nonprofit in his name and the Jets initiatives are working to make Janesville a better place for the disabled community, step by step.
You know, just to continue to make our communities and every single person aware that people with disabilities doesn't mean that they don't, you know, hear and see and think and everything like we do. They're just different.
In Janesville, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Now.
Good evening there, folks. I got to talk more winter headlines here. Another weekend with winter headlines. We got that going on for Marquette and Green Lake counties up to the north until 4 a.m. on your Tuesday morning. That's where the snow will be a little bit steadier overnight on your Sunday night going into your Monday morning, and that's where we could see the more appreciable amounts of snow. We can see all of that. We can pinpoint it. We can track it on our friend, the Future Track model, starting pretty close to midnight here. Look at this, up towards Juneau, Adams, and especially Marquette and Green Lake counties, looking at that blue activity, and it will slip towards the south as we head towards that 5-6 a.m. time frame on your Monday morning. So could be seeing some slick spots on your way to school and work across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures chilly too in the 20s, 24 in Madison, 23 to the north, another 24 to the north in Camp Douglas, Viroqua at 25 degrees, and to the south 26 Monroe to start off your Monday. And unfortunately, it's going to stay breezy, so hang on to your hats or the stocking cap as you go into your Monday. Strong north winds. We'll be lucky to get some sunshine. It will be generally cloudy with a few scattered flurries and high temperatures barely making it to 30. That's about 12 or so degrees below normal. And then as we go into your Monday night, skies will clear. And when you've got clear skies, any heat you have goes right out to space. And that will allow those temperatures with snowpack out there to dip to 9 in the Dells, 11 here in Madison, to the east in Watertown at 10 degrees as you wake up on Tuesday morning. But good news, we will have some warmer temperatures coming. Let's break the snow down. Again, scattered snow showers by midnight, maybe an inch or two to the north and towards the east of Madison, and a few flurries on your Monday. Viroqua, you were the winner of the snow over the past 24 hours at 4 inches. Stoughton at 2.5 inches, and again, a little bit more as we go into the overnight. Again, we broke into sunny skies today, so that was pleasurable, and it's nice to have that light out a little bit longer as we head towards a later sunset, or at least it's light out a little bit later. Tracking this weather system, windy and cold on Monday and cold temperatures Monday night. Then we've got the next weather system coming towards us on Wednesday, lasting through Thursday and Friday. This one brings warm temperatures, and then those temperatures will fall on your Friday. Here we go. Temperatures 30, 32 on your Monday going into your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Luck of the Irish brings us some warmer weather. A little bit cooler over the weekend, but the luck of the Irish comes back to us as we go out into that next work week with temperatures boosting up to the upper 40s. And then we've got the Willow and Winnie show again tonight. Looking at them north of the Dells, they're north of Juneau and Adams County, having a blast in the snow.
I need Jane, who sent those in. I need her to tell me what type of dog Winnie is, because it really looks like my dog. My dog's a Nova Scotia dog-tolling retriever, and that looks just like my dog.
I'll have to figure that out for you.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
All right, in more news tonight, let's take a look at the Sea Dragon taking flight. Well, kind of. This is the iconic Sea Dragon ride from Pacific Park, the amusement park on the Santa Monica Pier in California. It'd been giving rides for nearly 30 years, but an upgraded Sea Dragon car was needed, so crews airlifted it out of the park. The classic swinging ship ride debuted back in 1996 and has given millions of rides, with Pacific Park officials saying it also was featured in scenes from the movie Iron Man. Speaking of movies, the latest installment in a popular horror movie franchise had a frighteningly good debut this weekend. David Daniel has early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters right now.
Come on. Come on. So cute. Cocaine Bear showed up in 5th place with $6.2 million. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania closed in on $200 million in domestic box office with a 4th place weekend worth $7 million. 65, starring Adam Driver, crash-landed in 3rd place, opening with $12.3 million.
Hey, my man, can I help you? Let me get an autograph.
Creed 3 lost the title, but $27.2 million put the boxing flick over $100 million domestic in just 10 days.
There's a darkness inside of me.
Scream 6 deep sixed the competition. The slasher flick topped the chart with $44.5 million, the best debut in franchise history. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Still ahead tonight, no NCAA tournament for the Badgers this year, but the team still has another chance to keep playing. Jordan has details coming up next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
The last couple of years have been difficult, and for some, it's getting even harder.
In Wisconsin, nearly 22% of adults have reported having a mental illness.
Meanwhile, a shortage of therapists, long wait times, and limited resources at the county level have left many behind.
People that are accessing our resources are everyday people that society may view as doing well. It's the people that historically aren't doing well. It's everyone.
Two candidates for Supreme Court, two very different beliefs. Judge Janet Protasewicz. She believes women should have the freedom to make their own decisions on abortion. Extremist Dan Kelly. He supports the 1849 law that takes away women's rights and criminalizes abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and health of the mother. So who represents you? An extremist or a common sense judge? Vote by April 4th.
Introducing Astapro Allergy, steroid-free allergy relief that starts working in 30 minutes, while other allergy sprays take hours. Now with Astapro Fast Allergy Relief, you can Astapro and go.
Habush attorneys are the best of what a personal injury attorney is about.
To get the most money for your case, you need to have a law firm that's unrelenting.
We will fight with all that we have in person power, in knowledge, and experience to bring about the result they deserve.
I can't give them their life back how it was, but I can give them the financial compensation to get their life back on track.
The bracket is officially set for the NCAA tournament, but unfortunately for Wisconsin, they did not make it. It's the first time since 2018 and just the second time since 1998. However, Greg Gard and his group aren't done yet. The Badgers are NIT bound and have earned the #3 seed for the tournament. UW will host Bradley Tuesday night at 8:30 in the first round. The winner from that will move on and face the winner of Liberty and Villanova.
Myself and our staff felt this was important to give our guys another chance to continue to grow through the season, use this as an opportunity. It's obviously some really good teams in this tournament, as we thought there would be. So, to continue to grow this year, and obviously you always look at propelling you forward, specifically when you got the vast majority of your team returning the following year.
Well, the Badgers aren't NCAA tournament bound. Both of Marquette's programs are. On the men's side, they lock up the #2 seed after winning the Big East tournament, and they'll face Vermont on Friday. The women's team is seeded 9th and will face South Florida also on Friday. In case you missed the Big Ten championship earlier, Purdue and Penn State facing off. Boilermakers, they're rolling early, but the Nittany Lions cut it to a 3-point game. Then this steal leads to a Cameron Winter layup. It's a 1-point game in Chicago, and Penn State has a chance to upset. But a foul on Winter sends Purdue to the charity stripe, and they win it 67-65. The quest for a 7th national championship begins this week for Wisconsin women's hockey as they're Frozen Four bound for the 14th time in program history. And greeting them in their first game up in Duluth is an all too familiar opponent, Minnesota. This marks the 6th round of the border battle this season. During the regular season, UW went 2-0-2 against them. In the postseason, UW lost in the first round of the WCHA playoffs. But that was then, and this is now.
Nothing that happened in the past matters anymore. It doesn't matter how many times we beat them, how many times they beat us. The NCAA playoffs is just such a different game than anything we've done before. And so I think we're just going to stick to Badger hockey because we have so much confidence that when we're at our best that we can beat any team.
The Badgers and Gophers rematch is set for Friday at 6. The winner of that semifinal matchup will advance to the national championship Sunday to face either Ohio State or Northeastern. It won't be long. That's at least what Aaron Rodgers is saying about when he will announce what's next. Number 12 was out at a charity football event in California yesterday when he got to talking with Brandon Marshall, telling him to stay tuned. I think it won't be long. This comes after Packers president Mark Murphy shared that the franchise would honor a trade request if Rodgers wants that. And after other reports from earlier in the week that a couple front office members and coaches from the Jets flew out to meet with Rodgers. Final round of the Players' Championship, and this day belongs to Scotty Scheffler. On 8, he gets the birdie to go from the bunker. That's the first of 5 straight birdies. Scheffler is going to sink a par putt on 18 to win the Players' Championship at 17 under overall, moving him back to #1 in the world. As for the Madison native, Jerry Kelly finishes tied for 54th at 1 under.
You know, we were talking in our earlier shows about how we're on Rodgers Watch, and I was saying that I ended up going live my first and second day here because I don't remember, something with Rodgers. And I realized at my last station too in Eau Claire, Packers also were a big part because it was like my first month and I said Favre instead of Favre, and it was a whole thing. And just the Packers, like as soon as I crossed the state line, the Packers have just influenced my whole life.
It's really funny because I remember we had this exact conversation about the Brett Favre.
I've been waiting for
your moment to say it, and you're like, I don't know if I ever will share that story, but I'm very proud of you for sharing it at this point.
I still haven't had it in a script, but I said Favre and Favre in the same sentence, and I had to give like an honor apology. It was not good. So it is Favre, and I know that.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks, Jordan. Yep. We'll be right with us. We'll be right back with more news after this.
Get Jack's Pizza for just $1.99. Monday only at Hy-Vee. That's right, your daily deal for Monday is Jack's Pizza for just $1.99. While supplies last. Only at Hy-Vee.
Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you back here at 10. Are you a fan of News 3 Now? How would you like a chance to work with the anchors here at News 3 Now and actually produce our newscast? If you are a strong writer, have an interest in news, a well-rounded education, and have a great attitude, we have all the resources needed to train you to be a valued part of our team. The only thing missing is you. Here's your opportunity. Come work with me and join our award-winning team. Apply online today.
Alien tape is strong enough to hold this fishbowl on a moving car. Just peel and stick and make anything stay in place quick. A wooden shelf, a basket to glass, rugs to the floor, and so much more. Alien tape sticks to brick, pavers, marble, tile, plastic, even leather. Nothing works better. Alien tape secures in seconds, then twist, pull, and rinse to reuse. You're dying to try it. Here's your chance to buy it.
Call 1-800-490-1347 or go to tryalientape.com. That's 1-800-490-1347.
Good news! This just in. Your Ford dealers have fresh shipments of their award-winning SUV lineup in stock and ready for you to drive home today. Get your hands on a new Ford, the #1 brand in SUV owner loyalty, including Bronco Sport with standard GOAT modes and Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. And now, here's more good news. Now get a 2022 Explorer with 0% APR financing for 36 months, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Add protection and curb appeal to your home with Atlas Roofing products. Castlebrook, Briarwood, and Pinnacle shingles are ready to take home today. Right now, get 11% off all Atlas shingles. Complete your roofing project with new gutters. They're essential for controlling rainwater runoff from your roof. Choose from 3 in-stock colors. Aluminum gutters are only $8.99 each after 11% rebate now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Us. This isn't us. Is it? When did we get so connected to our devices and so disconnected from each other? And when our phones have turned us into this? LT, what do you do when you're a company that sells them?
We gotta fix this.
It's time to find what we're missing. Join us in taking a break from our devices. Take the phones down for 5 challenge for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes.
Feels good.
And let's find us again. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Get Jack's Pizza for just $1.99. Monday only at Hy-Vee. That's right, your daily deal for Monday is Jack's Pizza for just $1.99. While supplies last. Only at Hy-Vee.
State Supreme Court debate, March 21st at 4 p.m.
All right, so we're in mid-March. It's still really cold. But spring might be on the way because I was driving today and I saw ducks on water. It was like a spot like this big in a frozen lake, but the ducks were excited.
It counts.
I was excited. I did a double take. I'm like, wow, birds on water and just water.
That's progress in March.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
And big progress because spring starts on March 20th.
Doesn't feel like it.
Not quite there, but we'll have some progress in the forecast. Right now out there, some snow shower activity live here in our WISC camera. And as you take a look at high-resolution radar, those ducks are probably looking up and going, oh, no, not more snow.
Me too.
But
Same.
We'll see a little bit more of that tonight. But hey, here's the good news. Luck of the Irish as we head towards Friday. Look at that. Just before St. Patty's Day, 50 degrees. We dip a little bit, and then we go back up close to 50. So I'll take it.
It's something. I'll take it. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow. News Now This Morning starts at 4:30.